Under-recruited athlete show congratulates Bryce Cox of Mount St. Joseph for committing to Georgetown University. Cox was a 3-year starter for the Gales, who was named team captain in his junior and senior years. His overall career consists of 2 MIAA All-Conference selections and MIAA Championship and Offensive Player of the Year, over 2,000 yards rushing, over 3,000 all-purpose yards, and a Big 33 Maryland vs. Pennsylvania game MVP. Cox ended his senior season rushing for 631 yards on 129 carries with 5 touchdowns. Let's congratulate Bryce Cox on a great season.
All right. So, I mean, basically, what I'm going to do is I want to know about you. You know, it's more important to know about you, not just in football, but just like, you know, who are you? What's your plans? You know, tell me about some of your journey. The whole thing about, you know, with your recruitment. You are being recruited by who?
I'm going to Georgetown next year.
Okay. So tell me more about like the whole experience about going to Georgetown. Kind of let some of the people that are watching this know like some of the difficulties, some of the things that you encountered with the recruitment process, some of the things you liked, some of the things you didn't, about you know, your coaches and teammates, stuff like that. So I'll ask you a series of questions and you just go ahead and answer, man. And then you know, the floor is yours, you know. So I just want to, you know, say I appreciate you, appreciate you for this time. You know,
No
trying to get y'all with these interviews at the end of the year, man. I know it's tough, but I just want to say thank you, man, for taking this time, man, and I appreciate you. And I just wish you the best, man, at Georgetown. So, all right.
No
So
problem.
without
Thank
further ado, we're gonna open it up. So my name is Alonzo McDowell. I'm one of the hosts of the Under Recruited Athlete Show, and we're today with Bryce Cox. He'll be attending Georgetown University. I've done my background on this young man. This young man is a great athlete, and I'm sure he's a great student, just simply going to Georgetown University. So I want to kind of leave the floor open for him. I'm going to ask him a couple questions, and we're just going to get to know this young man, just so that we can see what we're gonna be seeing in the future, witnessing in the future. So, all right. So first of all, tell me about yourself. Your name, school. You know, we already know that you're graduating, going to Georgetown, your position, and you know, how long you've been playing football?
So I'm Bryce Cox. I go to Mount St. Joseph Mount St. Joseph High School at the moment. And I've been playing football since about like elementary school, like real early. Playing, and then basically I got a concussion, so my mom took me out for a couple of years, started playing basketball, fell in love with basketball, started playing, then like came back to football, and then ever since I just been playing football.
Okay. So you was a basketball man, huh?
For a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, any offers, any opportunities basketball, you know?
No, I stopped playing basketball like in the 7th grade.
Okay. Now, one of the things I found out about a lot of Maryland athletes, that's what makes Maryland athletes a little bit unique, is that a lot of Maryland athletes play lacrosse, basketball, baseball. So, you know, I came up here from Georgia, even though I coached in Edgewood and I also coached at Hartford Tech in Bel Air. Before coming up here to Maryland, I coached in Georgia. And it's just a little different twitch and a little different movement because a lot of you guys play basketball and different sports. So I know that kind of helped you as a running back. I'm sure it did.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it helps me like move like laterally, and like every move I make is like, I don't know, it's just secondhand nature. It's not like I just run in like a straight line.
Right. Okay. Well, that's good to hear. All right. So tell me about like your favorite football team and who you kind of patting yourself after.
So my favorite football team is the Steelers, and a running back I'd say I patted myself after is patient-wise Le'Veon Bell. I'm a big fan. I was a big fan of his, like always being patient, seeing everything and like making the defenders miss and everyone. But like right now, like currently, I'd probably say like I like Christian McCaffrey a lot,
Okay.
and then I also like Jahmyr Gibbs a lot too.
Okay. All right, well, that's good, man. You got any causes or any hobbies or anything that's unique that people don't know about, you know?
People don't know that like I'm a nature type of guy. So like in my free time, I like to like take like jogs, like see scenery and like or like I play basketball in my free time, like when I'm not training and stuff. Play basketball and jog.
Okay, so you're a nature man, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, well, hey, that's always good to have, you know, on your resume, especially when you get older, man. You know, that's all I do is sit in nature, listen to the birds, have, you know, you get to a point, man, where you have to have that cerebral mind. You have to have that patience, you know, as you get older, you'll see, especially as a running back, you know, having
Mhm.
that patience, you know, waiting for the hole to get open instead of just rushing and being more cerebral and being able to see things as they develop. So I can see that in you. I can see that in you, most definitely. Most definitely. All right. So do you have any hidden talents or hidden skills or anything like that? I know there's other things other than basketball and football.
Probably say I'm a very skilled driver.
I was scared.
Wouldn't say like safest, but I'm skilled. Very
Skill.
skilled. A hidden talent I'd probably say is I'm really good with cars.
Okay.
I have a real interest in cars. Like I could probably tell you like a lot about cars.
All right. What tell me then? Tell me a little about my dad, my father. He just passed. I mean, rest his soul. You know, I grew up in the military. You know, I grew up around racetracks, race cars, and all that stuff. And one of the things is, man, my dad, while he was in the military, you know, he built him 2 race cars. You know, people didn't understand how this guy in the military building all these race cars, racing all these race cars, but that was something, one of his hidden talents that he enjoyed. And you know, I've been around him. I heard them engines. You know, he has a I want to believe I think a 70. He had a 76 Chevy Nova that he used to put on the track. It ran about I think it was like under a 10-1, something like that. I know he had to get licensed, but it was rolling. You know, so tell me about your interest in cars, man. What you like to fix them? You know what?
Um, I really just like seeing modifications on them, like modifications that people put on cars, and like it's like at first my car engine started with Fast and Furious,
Uh-oh.
and then like, I'd see all the cars they drive, like the old Fast and Furious, where they drove like illegal cars, like you know
Yeah.
how like the Nissan Skyline 1999 Skyline's illegal in the United States, like stuff like that. I'd be so like it was like intriguing to me, like how those cars were illegal, and like stick shifts were always like it always interested me
Yeah.
stuff like that. So then I like really like put my time and like learning, but like I never had the time like to fix a car or something like
Hey,
or anything like that.
them cars get expensive, man. Them cars are expensive. Trust me, thousand dollars. But I mean, it's a good hobby, man, and it's good something. You know, when you get older, you know, kick back. You know, whether your interest is going to the NFL, who knows? You know, you'll be able to have that money to get that race car, that you know, unique car you've always wanted.
Yeah,
So hey, that's always good, man. That means, hey, I'm sure you're good with your hands. That's good.
I am.
So you should always keep a job.
Yeah.
All right. So look, tell me how your season went, man. Tell me a little bit about your season.
Uh it was a good season. I believe that there were some games we should have won, like St. Ignatius. We let up a trick play fourth quarter and we lost that game by off a trick play. I feel like if we were more disciplined, we win that game. Good Counsel, we just came out flat. We had a terrible game, so that was a loss. Spalding, we had a great game. It was a hard fought game. It was very slow, played out. Like it was one of those NFL type of games where you have 12 play, 13, 14 play drives. It's something like you don't see from high schools, but like both teams like were able to manage 13, 14 play drives and like finish with either three or seven. And Calvert Hall, in the playoffs, our quarterback, a lot of people got sick that week and just lost off the fact that we didn't have a quarterback. Like it was a good game. It's just like at the end of the day, you don't have a quarterback. Quarterback runs the team, so it's like it was
Yeah.
kind of hard to win.
Oh man. So your quarterback, that was Watkins, right?
Yeah.
What, he got hurt?
No, he was sick with a 102 fever.
Oh man. Yeah, man, that guy, he won our URA quarterback. Yeah, when we did our UA quarterback competition, he won that. I mean, a lot of people voted for him, man. He seems like he's a very likable guy. Seems like, you know, he has the support of the community of Mount St. Joe. But man, that's something. So you had to take it over, right? That was all your game, right?
It was, but there were some plays that we shouldn't have ran, some plays we should have ran. But I mean, at the end of the day, what happened happened. But I mean, it was still a good game. I
Okay.
mean, I felt like we should have been in the championship. I felt like if we would have had another chance at Spalding, we could have beat Spalding because in like real time, outside of garbage time, we only lose by a touchdown to Spalding,
Right.
and that was off interception that shouldn't have been thrown. So I believe that we can win that game, and like finally figured out at the end of the game like what they're running defensively. So I
Man.
feel like
Okay. So look, sell yourself, man. What was your accolades? What was your stats? Tell the people, sell yourself. What's your resume looking like?
like overall or like that season.
Hey, overall, man, look, you about to graduate. This is about to be the end. You moving on to college, sell yourself.
um I have one championship. We won a championship freshman year. The MIAA freshman year. Two-time All MIAA. Offensive MIAA preseason offensive player of the year. Over 2,000 yards rushing with like 300 with around 300 carries, I believe. I'm not 100% sure, but a kick return touchdown, over 3,000 all-purpose yards,
Man.
and I also have all MIAA in track as well.
Okay. All right. So did you get recruited by Mount St. Joe? Was that just somewhere you wanted to go?
I got recruited by Mount St. Joe. I probably would have went to public school if I didn't.
So what would have been your home school?
Reservoir.
Oh, okay. Howard County, huh? Oh, okay. So I mean, that's a big jump, man. That's a big difference in schools. So
Yeah.
hey, well, that's good, man. That's good. Now look, didn't y'all how did y'all the end of the season go? Like how did y'all fare at the end of the season?
Um, at the end of the season, we just lost the game. It was at the end of the season we were rolling off Pilates, came to Spalding. It was a real good week of practice. They just came out with some things that like our offensive line couldn't match because their blitz schemes, they're pretty confusing. Like they run the same defense overall, but like our offensive line, it was really hard to judge like who was coming and who wasn't.
Yeah.
And that ultimately hurt us in the run game and like in the pass game in some circumstances where Winston didn't have enough time because our O line didn't pick up certain blitzes. But and then Calvert Hall, we just didn't have a quarterback, and it was like the defense hold them down. The offense, it was just hard to score without a quarterback. We had a receiver playing quarterback and can't really run our offense the way we want to.
Right. Right. Okay. Well, let me tell you. All right. So, what motivates you? Like, all right, you're playing football. You're in rec. You're coming up through high school. You just didn't play to play. I mean, what motivated you to play at the level you played at?
What motivated me the most was my dad. He's always worked 2 to 3 jobs my whole life. So really like, and then at one point like my mom was working 2 jobs. So really, it was all like that's all I knew. Like all I knew is if you wanted something and like you genuinely like one like I always felt like a caretaker of my family. So if you always wanted something and you'd always have to work for it and it didn't matter like countless hours. And it was like they always told me like I was moving at 100 miles per hour, but it's all I knew.
Yeah, man. Let me tell you something, man. I appreciate you sharing that information because, a lot of guys say I'm playing, I just want to go pro. But I mean, even when I played, I played high school football at Joppatown right here in Harford County. That was one of the reasons why I started the URA football show. Was because of the simple fact that you had to have a purpose. My purpose was I was a military brat. We ended up moving here to Harford County, and I kind of got stuck. It was like, man, the school was small. They weren't really known for much, and I had to do what I had to do to stand out. I didn't want my parents paying for college. My parents weren't wealthy, and I think that we missed that. As a football community, everybody wants to talk about. I did this because I wanted to be a champion. I wanted to be a superstar, but I mean the real character comes in those who can express themselves beyond just themselves, you know? And for you to do it for your family, man, you know, that makes you a good teammate because a team will know that you're going to take care of them because your purpose, you know what I mean? You have a meaningful purpose. So, I mean, I'm glad you shared that, man. I think a lot of people need to understand is they got to play football and sports and do things for the right reason. It's not always about the money. It's not always about, you know, there is a good purpose in why we play sports, and it's just not being a jock, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, some people it's for survival. Some people it's because they appreciate the love of the game. Some people they just love the teammate and the camaraderie. It's not always just being a boneheaded jock as the stereotype is, you know. And for you, I mean, to go to Georgetown, man, you gotta be a highly educated brother, you know. And in the end, that needs to shine forth that you're just not an athlete. You're a smart individual. You're somebody that really wants to carry on the legacy of their family. And that's why I'm glad I got you on the show, you know. So I greatly appreciate that, man. Outside of that, of what motivates you, give me some of the things that challenges that you had this year.
Challenges, becoming a leader, becoming a vocal leader, that was a big challenge. And the way I carried myself during practice, that was one thing. Because like everybody sees Saturdays and Fridays, but nobody sees Mondays through Fridays for us.
Right.
So it was those two things, like being a vocal leader, because like now it became my offense. Like even though at the end of the day it's Winston's offense, but like as far as like leadership, it became my offense. Like I became a 3-year starter at that point, so I knew the offense back and forth, and it was a lot of the technical things, like trying to be college ready instead of just ready for the next season, like trying to be college ready, trying to like focus on little things and like how to like be able to get certain things to like be able to see certain things quicker or not wasting any movements or anything. It was stuff like that.
Right. That's good, man. Tell me more about for a lot of parents that are looking at putting their kid in a private school. Tell me some of the challenges and also tell me some of the good things about being a private school football player.
Challenges, you gotta work for your position. It's not like it's given to you, because I hear like a public school, it's like it's much easier, but private school you have a lot of people like you, like they're coming for the same reasons as you. It's just whoever's going to prevail at that point. And also the work's harder. Our grading scale is an 8-point grading scale, so like at public school, a 84, a 83 is a B. For us it's a C. And a 70 for us is you're close to failing the class, while for public school it's a C. So it's the grading scale, and like also like they're more on you, like getting the tension is way easier. And also the coaches, it's more of a business. It's more structured like college. Like you have to be there at certain places, or else you could be the best player on a team. They won't carry you. You won't play.
That's good, man. That's how it should be, you know. And that's the sad thing about a lot of the public schools is, you know, you're losing a lot of good coaches.
Yeah.
Because of the that's migrating to the private schools because of the structure and because of the resources and stuff like that. So yeah, but I mean, I don't knock public school. I've coached in public school. I enjoy coaching in public schools, but I just think that the community is not as strong as it used to be now that private schools are opening up their doors to, you know, more demographics. You know, but I'm glad you got the opportunity. And like I said, I didn't know that, man. An 8-point scale.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's hey, I don't know, man. I might not have made it. That's tough, man. If you get an 80 and it's not an 80, you know, that's not a B, you know, but it is what it is. I'm glad you got through successful. All right, so let's talk about your team, man. Tell me about your coach. Who's your coach? Tell me about your coach. Tell me about what you like about your coaches. Tell me, you know, something silly about your coaches. You know, I want your coaches to feel kind of embarrassed. You know, this is, hey, you leaving, man. Say what you want. Tell me about your coach.
So our coach just recently resigned.
Oh, man.
So freshman year I had a coach. His name was Rick Holzer. He's an offensive mastermind. Like I still believe he's an offensive mastermind up to this day. Like some of the plays he would call freshman year were like insane, like how everything will work. But our coach, the last 3 years, Dominic D'Amico, which was my coach when I was starting. I kind of at first I didn't like any of his plays, But then I was like, I didn't like to do it all either. But as time went on, like I created a bond with him, like trying to start to understand everything he would say, started understanding like how he thought and everything. Like I really like to begin to like the dude, and he always kept it real. That's one thing I always appreciate about him. Like he never lied to you. He always like tell you the truth and what he thought. And sometimes he'll overreact. But, like film was always funny with him. Like if someone made a bad play, he like boo him or like tell them like they suck or something like that. And like there'd be like times on the field like someone like would be misaligned, like he'll like scream out boo, or like be like there's one time like we had like a terrible summer practice, like it was the first day of training camp. He was like I'm about to tell him, he's like I'm about to call good counsel and tell him we're not playing him anymore because we look like we suck or something like that.
Hey, the things that coaches got to go through, man, with y'all players. And it's kind of funny because, a lot of times players don't even know the stresses and the things that the coaches go through,
Yeah.
It's not that we don't like you. We're trying to build you into young men. And sometimes, the way that we go about it is not just like laid out on our sleeves. We have to do it in a methodical way. We have to be very professional, but we also have to be very creative.
Yeah.
Got some creative, talented Mr. Mischiefs on the football team, so a lot of the things that we have to do, we have to make sure that we can account and we can support the whole team. So sometimes we can't get to be that, that buddy,
Yeah.
sometimes a lot of guys don't see that until they become seniors and then they like, oh yeah, now I understand,
Yeah.
but yeah. Okay. So now tell me about like some of your players, man.
Um, we had a receiver, Trey Goodrich. He was real good. Always caught everything. He throw the ball his direction. He's catching it. Strong, powerful, smart, crafty. Like every time you threw the ball to him, and if it was in his vicinities, he's catching it.
Yeah.
Um, we had Carter. He was our best DB. Man coverage, strap everyone. We had Zaire as well. Zaire, great pass rusher, had about 13 sacks on the season. Could rely on him on third down. Bly Hill, lengthy corner. No one really completed passes on him in our zone coverage. Lengthy corner, like it's hard. It's really hard to get past him. He's fast and like it's hard. Like it's just hard on that side. And then Avery Jones, he was a deep threat for us. And then just Winston makes things go around. He's very positive. Winston was always very positive, so like you can never really hang your head down because like he was so positive. Like you can never really like he can make the worst mistake in the world. Like you really couldn't get mad at him.
So who you gonna miss, man? You didn't
Uh,
name all these talented athletes. Like who you gonna miss the most?
uh, Probably Trey.
Okay.
Trey, because I don't know, the offense always ran through us, so I'd probably like I miss the defense, but like when you're on offense, special bonds like I could run it on first down and like it could be 3rd and 10. But I know who the ball is going to, and I hope it goes to him.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want it to go in to anyone else but Trey.
Check that out. So look, man, when you sit back, I'm 46 years old, man, and I have those plays, man, where from college to even high school, where it's like they're those memorable plays, man, that's always gonna stick. It's like, how did I do that? How was that possible? Tell me about one of those moments.
Kick return against Franklin. I didn't like it was the first kick return of the season, the first kick I got because I just came. So at the time I was playing both sides, running back and safety as well. And I was on special teams and they kicked me the ball. Like they just scored on us and I'm just standing there like and they just scored on us like I'm about to get back on offense. And then like the ball dropped. The ball like it was like the ball dropped at I'm standing in the end zone and the ball drops at the 90 at the 5 yard line and it just drops again. Like I'm hoping it rolls and it just drops again. I'm like, all right, I'm taking it. And I just swerve to the right, swerve to the middle. Next thing you know, break a couple tackles, stiff arm a kicker, and then next thing you know, I'm in the end zone.
Uh-oh.
Like
That's the longest one?
when you see it on film, it's like, damn, like how did I do that?
That's your longest kickoff return ever?
Yeah, I only have one because team stuff kicking it at me.
Hey, but look, that's your most memorable. Check that out. You'll
Yeah,
be able to tell your grandkids, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what makes football so beautiful, man. There'll be so many memories, but that's one that you can always say, like, I did that there, 95 yards. I did that, you know?
Or it'd probably be the most recent touchdown, the big 33, where we ran power to the right side, and I didn't like what I saw. So I decided to cut it all the way back, like cut it even, run behind even the DN, broke a tackle. Next thing you know, I'm in the end zone. Like I knew like everyone would be like, if I got tackled there, like what the hell are you doing? We're running power to the right and you were cutting it back left. Like you're bouncing it back left.
Yeah.
But, I mean, scored. So
well, tell me about that experience, man. You had y'all had some dogs on that team now. Tell me about that experience.
that was great. That experience was phenomenal. Being around players like that of that magnitude, being like it was just great. It was fun being around those coaches. Coaches were especially fun. Everything was just, I don't know, the competition was always great. Like it was no one like you could say like they suck. Like it was always just great competition all the time. It was just overall a fun experience, a fun game. And like also Team PA being like as good as they are, it was a dog fight. Like it was score after score after score, people making plays all the time. So that was great.
And see, that's the thing, man. I like the Big 33 because of the fact that, you're playing against college level guys. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? These are guys that's going off. They're going to be playing on Saturdays in college. You know, some of them
Yeah.
are officially in the pros. You know, and I think that that's a
Yeah.
great thing that they do with the Big 33 because for you guys just coming in like graduating and getting that taste to be like, man, when I go to practice, I'm lining up against dogs like this. You know,
Yeah.
I think that that's good. You know, it just sucks that it's so late. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
the only thing that it's so late. I wish that they could have done it like right after the season, when you guys were already primed and ready and but whatever the case, I think that it's a good thing for high school athletes transitioning into college.
Yeah.
All right. So let's go on, man. Let's talk about let me ask you this question. Who's the guy you're gonna that we need to keep our eyes on? Like at Mount St. Joe, who do I need to keep my eyes on for the next guy that's going to be that dude? Who do I need to keep my eyes out on?
Denver Fauntleroy or Zion Williams.
Okay. So Zion's the running back, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What about the quarterback, man?
I mean, you already have the quarterback. You already know the quarterbacks.
Okay, yeah. Okay. So yeah, Zion Williams, I think we profiled him for the two point class 2024. Yeah. And I think there's a receiver also that we're doing something on. Is that the guy you was talking about?
Yeah.
He's a rising senior this year.
Yeah, Denver.
Okay. Check that out. All right, so we already got him on there. That's good. All right, so tell me about your recruitment. Like, how did it go? Like, was there a lot of colleges like out the gate your junior year? Like, when did the colleges really start coming on to you?
They started coming. We started talking like right after the season, and there was a dead period. The dead period usually, and then like you don't really know everything, and like when you're a junior, so you're just like, okay, how's everything going? Like spring of junior year, everything started rolling in. I got my first offer. That was Georgetown, and then started talking to some other schools, that in the nature, and then I got like invited to like unofficial visits all the time during the summer, just seeing everything, and yeah, so it wasn't at first. At first, it was kind of like worrisome because you see like other people getting Power Five, and then next thing you know, you're just waiting for your turn. But then, like as soon as my turn came, it was.
Well, I tell a lot of kids, man, because I've been doing recruiting since I coached in Texas. That's been like almost 16 years. And one of the things that I've noticed is that the whole Power Five hype, a lot of times, man, them schools just jump on because they trying to play a game with the other school, like it's not even about like it's not really a true offer. It's just, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna see if he'll bite on us. They're just trying to disrupt the recruitment process for that athlete, but the schools that really want you, you're gonna hear more about what they can do for you academically and after college. Man, I've been on a lot of recruitment tours. My son, when he was in high school, we went through the process with him getting recruitment. And, that's one of the things that we kept hearing about, the facilities and this is that, and these different athletes, and this person went pro. But the schools that really talk about what they can do academically and their graduating class and what opportunities they have to help you after graduation, that's one of the things that a lot of athletes don't focus on. But, one of the things is that I know you want to find a school. I try to tell the kids, you want to find a school that's going to really support you after college. You got a lot of athletes, man, and they don't get opportunities after college. It's just like, all right, I played football next. Now what? Some of them don't even graduate. I know guys that I played with, there's a lot of them that never graduated, and I think that that's a disservice. But once again, you got to pick the right school. You got to pick a school that is going to support you during football, but also after. That's a real big thing. All right. Give the community some suggestions about recruiting and some things that you can help them during the recruitment process. How could you communicate in a way that would help these kids not get discouraged or just help them in their recruitment process?
Just know that someone's always looking, and just for me, I stayed true to my grind. I wasn't really worried about who was going to contact me, who wasn't. At a certain point, I was just worried about my grind, getting better, being ready for when the opportunity comes. I'd jump on it and make the best of it. So, and then when they started coming, just kept on working. Like once you get that first one, you're like, oh, this is real. Like I need to work harder. Then you're already working. So then that's when when I got that first one, I'm like, yeah, like we rolling now. Like I want, like this is like my dreams are reality, but like I didn't like ease off the gas. Like I just wanted to go harder.
Good, man. Yeah, I try to tell them, man, don't give up, man. All football is good. In my eyes now, sitting back, seeing a lot of guys that I've helped go to college, D2, D3, FBS, FCS, all football is good football. I was surprised now with the portal, man. It's like I'm seeing guys that was FBS guys drop down to D2 and have wonderful careers, but they was at the FBS sitting behind dogs and they just didn't get their turn. So, I mean, all football is good football, man. That's why we play football, to continue to play as long as we can. And it's just something that I'm sure you enjoy, and that's a part of your life that you'll always, you won't regret, So, all right, man. So lastly, tell me how we can help under recruited athletes. Like what can I do? What can my staff do that can help better, what we do to help young athletes?
I feel like you guys are doing everything right. It's just like some circumstances with the transfer portal, why take a kid that you have to develop instead of a kid that already proved himself to you.
Right.
So
That's the knock, man. That I'm telling you, it's a free agency. I don't like it, but I understand. There's been so many kids, man, that have been a bust, primarily academically. After talking to a lot of our network of recruiters, it's been, hey, man, we've had so many kids. They came from different schools, different backgrounds, but academically, it was a waste of time, waste of money, waste of time, and I can say this: athletes aren't built like I was back in the day. We didn't have all the nice turf and all the other stuff. It was that lifeline. Like I can't go home.
Yeah.
Not that ain't. But today is a different. It's the discipline. It's the mentality, which I understand. Now you're going into a business. This is not rec or fun. This is a business. You're talking about 5 a.m. workouts. You're talking about study hall. You're talking about not going to sleep to 10 o'clock. You're talking about not really coming home. Your life for the next couple of years is going to be grind, football. So, and I'm sure that your school prepared you for that. Especially telling me about that 8-point scale. You should be all right.
Yeah.
So, man, I really appreciate it. you taking this time. I know Kiera wasn't available, so I stepped in. I'm more of a behind the scenes guy.
Yeah.
But I mean, I this was a great interview, man. I enjoyed every minute of it, man. I enjoyed learning about you. I enjoyed the brief story that you told, and I just hope, man, you have a successful career, and the URA appreciates you for being a representative. Because you are now representative. We are going to be following you at Georgetown. So whenever you get a chance, man, just come and holler back at us, send us some videos so we can update the community. But I'm really thankful for this time, man. And I know you made your community and your parents proud, and I wish you the best, man.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
Anything else you want to say? Any last words?
Nah, not really.
All right, man. Well, look, you have a good afternoon, man, and happy Memorial Day, past weekend, whatever. But yeah, you take it easy, man, and I look forward to hearing from you in the future.
Thank you. You as well.
All right, man. Have a good one.
All right, you as well.